Uh, there we go. I was talking to myself the whole time. I wasn't on the stage. Now, I'm gonna have to come out and back in, guys, because something's acting funny here already because my picture's not up on my my thingamajiggy there. So I'm gonna come out and come right back in, okay? So I will be back. Or maybe even if I refresh, I wonder if it'll come up. I'll try refreshing first. There, that worked. Sorry about that. I said hi to all of you. So, just to save on time, we won't go back and do that, but, I said hi to all of you, said thank you for being here, and then I went into, Mike, I see you've come since I figured out I was not on stage. Um, and then I went into, Christine, hi. Thank you for being here, Bobby Joe. Yeah. Um, so then I went into, I just thought we'd do something different today. Lilly&Jack Sullivan have been missing, for 5 months now, 5 months today. So it's a long time, and it's hard to believe. And although it's a long time, it certainly feels like a long time. There's many children who have been missing a lot longer. I saw one story today that 2 little girls in the US that had been missing for 36 years, and they just located them. And yeah, their mother was unalived, and they were taken and they were located. So 36 years later, and that was through DNA. So, yeah, that what DNA is doing is very interesting, that's for sure. But for today, for Lily and Jack, I just thought we would go over some stuff and just have an open discussion, and I'll pay attention to, what you guys are saying more so in the chat today than me talking and reading. But a new article did come out. It came out when I looked. I was just sitting here setting things up, and it said 6 minutes ago, so it might be a bit more than 6 minutes ago now. But so we will play that first, or read it. I don't know if it's to be read or played, but either way, you're just lurking, are you? I'm not trolling, I'm lurking. You do whatever you want, just as long as you're good. Oh, you're working, are you? Well, thanks for being here. Donna, hi, thanks for being here. Thanks to everyone for being here. Yeah, so we'll go over to that first, the news article there. CTV. Actually didn't expect to find that. I was looking for other stuff, and that had come up, and I was like, "Oh, gee, that's just brand new." Yeah. So 12 o'clock, I guess it came out. So there might be something more coming out later around supper time as well. So 180 tips received in the 5 months since Sullivan children were reported missing. Lily Sullivan 6, Jack Sullivan 4 pictured. And you can see them there. They're school pictures that they had taken. Yeah. Cute. I just noticed Lily's got a scratch by her eye on this picture too. You can really see it because it could be a marking on the picture too, I guess. I shouldn't say that. The siblings were reported missing from Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia on May 2nd, 2025. It's been exactly 5 months since 2 Nova Scotia children went missing. Jack 4, Lily 6 were reported missing on May 2nd from their home and Garlock Road and Lansdowne Station. Searches stretched on for weeks in the densely forested area near their home, but there has been no sign of the two. This remains a highly active and intensive missing persons investigation, said an RCMP spokesperson Thursday in an email to the CTV News Atlantic. Thursday. Well, that would be today. Last month, the RCMP announced cadaver dogs would begin searching for the two children. As of Thursday, the spokesperson said, police anticipate this is what's coming next week. As of Thursday, the spokesperson said, police anticipate providing an update on the work of human remains detection dogs next week. We're unable to confirm the dates, times, or locations of those searches, said the spokesperson. Investigations so far. To date, RCMP said investigators have received more than 820 tips, all of which are being carefully assessed and followed up on. Police also noted investigators have reviewed all viable video files collected during the canvass of Lansdowne Station and the surrounding areas. Okay, so that's interesting. So police also noted investigators have reviewed all. Okay. Conducted 80 formal interviews and continue to pursue forensic analysis. Okay, so they're still waiting on that. Our team remains fully committed to utilizing every available resource to move this investigation forward and determine the circumstances of Lily and Jack's disappearance, said the spokesperson. Police previously stressed there was nothing definitive, and I kept stressing that. And remember I said you have to try to pick up what they're laying down, and that meant a lot to me. Those words, and I kept typing them in any chat I was in. Pay attention to nothing definitive, because that's what they need. And I kept saying, and unfortunately, in some cases, that ends up being that missing person, if they're unalive, to tell them what took place. So police previously stressed there was nothing definitive to support the children are deceased. Police have already conducted multiple searches covering about 8.5 square kilometers in the heavily wooded areas near the children's home, assisted by ground search teams and local volunteers. Court documents. Court documents released in late August show the initial impressions by police of polygraphs. Okay. Court documents released in late August show the initial impressions by police of polygraphs given to the parents of Lily and Jack, and suggest investigators did not think the children's disappearance involved foul play. The information is contained in court applications filed by investigators for permission to conduct searches for phone records, banking records, and video related to the case. That's confusing to me how they wrote that. Court documents released in late August show the initial impressions by police, so the impression of the police of polygraphs given to the parents suggest investigators did not think the children's disappearance disappearances involved foul play. I wonder why they're saying initial impressions. Tricky words, tricky words. The document said the last time the children were seen outside their home was on May 1st, when they were captured by video surveillance at a local Dollarama store with their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, and their stepfather, Daniel Martel. And that's all there is in that article, folks. Like I said, it's not a whole heck of a lot, but yeah, it's something. Yeah, so as I was saying, today I just thought it might be nice to just speak freely. Um, there's been a lot that's gone on in the last few days, and I'm sure all of you have watched the videos. And um, if there's anything you guys want me to pull up, if there's something you haven't seen and you want me to pull it up so you can see it, I can do that. Let's just kind of have it as an open discussion, open panel today. I'll bring Lily and Jack back up there again. Oh, their picture. The picture I had up there, it was I don't know why I want to keep calling her Valerie, and I know it's not Valerie. There we go. Wozniak. What is her first name? Cheryl Wozniak, or Wozniak. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. She did those, the flat rocks there with the paintings on them. And of course, it's October 2nd, and Belinda did up the collage of all the different pictures of Jack and Lily on her Facebook and shared with all of us. So that's one of the pictures she had there, Lily and Jack dressed up in their I'm assuming it would be their Halloween outfits. Yeah, cute. And that's actually how they were in the picture. So Lily was sitting on a bench and Jack was in front of her and she's looking at him. And then there was another picture of the two of them in the same costume sitting beside each other, and Lily's got her head turned looking at him with a big smile on her face. Cute. Let's go back and see what you guys are saying. So Mary, Randy, yeah, I think that's what my thoughts. April 30th is the Wednesday. Malaya, yeah, she got her plates, yeah, while they were at grandmother Patty's. I think who she talked with at that time. You're wondering if she talked to somebody that day? Maybe? Hi, Kent. I did see you come in there, but I forgot to say hi. I was thinking April 30th, the day Malaya went alone to get her plates. Did she meet up with someone? Okay. Well, you never know. You never know. It seems like something was definitely brewing there in their relationship. Things weren't going so well. And whether she was making that final decision that I'm out of here, or still on the fence about it, but kind of leaning towards, harder towards leaving. Like something was going on. That's for sure. Definitely. Why would Malaya need new health cards for Lily and Jack? I don't know that she needed new health cards for them. I've never heard that. Are you talking about how Daniel said he received health cards for him, the kids, and he came over and threw them in the trunk of the car? Um, if that's what you're talking about. It might not have been new. Um, Jack's birthday's in October. His birthday's the same day as mine, by the way. Jack's. Uh, so I wonder when that was, because if he was due for a renewal, that would have possibly, that would have come through. And I don't, maybe Lily's was late, and I don't know what Malaya's birthday is, but to me, I have to have more information to call that a fact. So it's not even something at this point that I would put a lot of thought into just yet. Just because we know Daniel can say stuff that can be incorrect, and whether he talks too quick before he has the full facts or what, I don't know what goes on there, why he does that. But yeah, so does anyone remember where it was said by Haley there was no food in the house? Because the documents state she was out getting groceries on Wednesday while doing laundry at Patty's. I don't remember her saying there was no food in the house. I remember her saying on that tape, that when her and Malay were kind of having the heart-to-heart there, that she said, like, it's time to kind of get real here type thing. You can go stay with your mother where, you'll have food, and you have love. And she was kind of talking like that, but she didn't say there was no food in the house. But she was saying where you'll have lots of food and love and warmth and whatever. She was kind of rhyming stuff off like that. But I don't remember her specifically saying you have no food. And I mean, she could have said that because maybe where you kind of have those ups and downs where you get a food in, but then you have, it's that pay to pay thing or money to money or whatever. Don't really know what she was referring to when she said that. But I mean, I know myself, I can remember years ago, I didn't always have tons of food in the house every single day. But now it's not an option. There's always food in the house, But I don't remember her saying specifically that there was no food in the house, but maybe somebody else does remember if she did say that. Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for being here. Yes, Scott, groceries bought at Walmart on the Thursday night with Patty's bank card. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mary, you have to renew them every 5 years. Okay. Well, Kent, you had the same thought I had. Because I said the same thing. It's kind of nice. And I didn't read that. That was just from my own brain. Kent wouldn't be the same time for the kids. Goes by birthday. It does. But if you didn't already do it prior to, they have to keep prompting you if you didn't do it on time. And that could be a possibility. Yeah. Randy's actually Mary. So if you hear me saying Randy or Mary or whatever, Lily's water probably already ran out. Card. Yeah. You're saying the same thing I'm saying. Their impressions may have changed. I know. I kind of wonder by the wording there, eh? But what would have been said to CTV News for them to even think that, right? It has to be something that tipped them off for them to think that way. They wouldn't just willy-nilly, say that about RCMP and because they're talking about RCMP's initial impressions. So, yeah. Novah. So RCMP think they are alive. I don't know. I haven't gotten that out of what they said. I think that I mean, when they left that day, when they were announcing they were leaving, and, if the children are still in the woods, they're not alive, right, is pretty much what they told us. And they kinda went from that to now saying they don't have any definitive answer of anything. And when you can't find somebody, you don't. You don't. You need to find those answers of what took place to that person, did and let's think of a teenager. Did the teenager run away? Well, we don't know because we don't have that person, you know. Was she abducted and unalive? Don't know because they don't have that individual, whether they're alive or not, right? Did she run away and fall off a cliff and accidentally perish? Don't know because they don't have her. So there's no definitive, answers or direction to look in. So yeah, so it makes it tough. Wow, those documents were a month and a half old when we got them. Yeah, I know, eh? And now 3 months old. Yeah, they were only active as of July. Yeah, it was July 16th. Those documents that up to July 16th is all the information that we have. Yeah. If we reread that and read between the lines more carefully, I believe it tells a lot, in my opinion. I agree. Yeah. You're talking about where they say in their impression, about their impression. Is that what you're talking about? Their impression at that time. Does anyone remember where it was said that Haley? Oh, yeah. The RCMP talk with evidence. They won't make stipulations. Yes, or assumptions. Yes. Yeah, Kent saw that what he said about putting the mail in the back of her car and going, "There you go, Millie," or something like that. Or how I hope you have a good day or something like that. For me, the most critical piece of info we have gained to date was Tint's interview with Wade. For me, the most critical piece of info. Well, it and yeah, well, it was with Wade, not Cindy. Yeah, well, he assumingly had no idea that he was being taped, right? So, yeah, the information that he didn't really hold back because he just thought he was having a private conversation with somebody, right? That he could kind of let loose and let it all out. Like he was even saying that some of the stuff I can't say to Cindy because she'll just start crying, right? Yeah. Hello, Novah. The library here in Ontario ran 22 copies of Jack and Lily Missing. Going to be putting them in sleeves and stapling them up so people walking will be able to see missing children. Very nice, AI Henry. That is awesome. That's awesome. Yay. See that, Cat? Do you see that? Isn't that awesome? Yeah. That is awesome. Yeah. Uh, yeah, and Kent says, "Great, AI Henry." Yeah. Yeah, it goes by the year of your birthday and the month. Yeah. So it usually comes a bit like I'm trying to remember if it's the month before your birthday or how that works. Can't remember. Hello, Ginger. Oh, don't worry about being late. Oh, that stinking old doctor. They're always running behind. It's not the nurse's fault. Uh, I don't know if it was the chief. I only ever heard of an elder that came from below. Yes, that there was an elder there and they did the prayer circle. That's what I remember too. I think somebody did call him a chief by mistake. I think actually Belinda might have said chief at the beginning by mistake, and then it uh, got corrected, or she said, I mean, elder or whatever, something. Yeah. Where were they from? Pictou, Landing, or Shubenacadie, or both? Are you talking about the elder, the folks who showed up at Malaya's? Um, Wade said a lot. Wade said a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Just coming down in the comments, guys. Yeah, don't think so either. If Daniel says he knows who took the kids, why are the RCMP following up on that? Why are we here 5 months later? And I agree, Ernestine, because, my way of thinking is that if they thought that was a possibility, or if they thought that was so, they would be putting the resources into that, not resources into cadaver dogs being put in certain areas to continue, to try to see if the children are in that area. So, that's my thoughts on that, because that's a lot of resources put in an area where if they were thinking the other, you'd probably want to not have all your eggs in one basket in with cadaver dogs and not on the other. And I mean, we're not hearing that the other's being investigated or there's anything going on there. But cadaver dogs, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of resources that could be put elsewhere if they were believing something else. Wade said a lot, but nothing he made. But okay, so Wade said a lot, but done nothing. He made it clear he didn't want Malaya and the kids. He had made the statement about, because she said she was going to get a job and, so that could help support the baby and that. And his response to that was, well, don't think I'm going to babysit. And I was thinking, oh, yeah, geez, that's nice. Like, holy cow. That's not being supportive. Yeah. So I hear you on that one. Yes, those are Cheryl's. Yep. Yep. Cheryl Wozniak. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly. Hello, Charmaine. How you doing, girl? I'm enjoying your channel. It's absolutely wonderful. Uh, yeah. I'll get down here some in the comments. They keep saying they are to look, they keep saying they are looking all, yeah, yeah, and they're open to any possibility. Yeah, exactly. If Daniel says in his interview that he knows who took the kids, but he doesn't want to say, why aren't the RCMP acting on that? Why are we here 5 months later? I agree. Yeah. Like I said, that's where the resources should be put if RCMP were to believe that, right? And I mean, I can't imagine that Daniel would be holding any information back from RCMP. So, all of that stuff that he's saying, and he's just given us, crumbs and saying that, well, I think, he thinks he knows who took them. I'm sure with RCMP, he's actually telling them who more information. They would be looking into that, and surely to gosh, by now they would be somewhere with that, because they're not holding back on resources. We know that because they've given cadaver dogs, and I shouldn't say give because you have to pay for them, but they're using them, and that's resources, right? Thanks, Sue. Sue. Yep. Yeah, I will continue to feel like but I appreciate you. Oh, I think you're doing great. And as you keep going, you get better. Like, I was so nervous at first. And I did go back and watch my videos too because I wanted to perfect things I felt I had to work on. For one, I noticed I was talking very slow. And I was like, okay, I have to speed up my speech here a little bit. And it's something I had to work on. Anyways, after being sick for such a long time, I just kind of got stuck in slow mo, and not overdoing things. And so I had to kind of start to work on some stuff, anyways. And that was one. Yeah. In my opinion, both Malay and Daniel are very immature, making hard for us true crimers to remember when we were younger. It's very hard to hear different stories from Daniel. It extremely joyous, and thank you for being here. I totally agree. Totally agree. And I remember being that age, and I was definitely a lot more mature, holding down a full-time job, taking care of two children, and I think I was still married to my first husband around that time, I believe. Yeah, I think I was. But, still making mistakes because we all do, right? And we always will. But as we're getting older and older, we try to make improvements and whatnot. But, and Daniel does make it very difficult. He really does. He truly does, make it very, very difficult. And I don't know if some stuff is just a lack of education and knowledge. And I don't mean education in the sense he's not smart, because we all are smart in our own ways. And it's easy to see that he's probably very mechanically smart, and he can probably do stuff that nobody else could do in certain ways. But I mean, in the sense that, like, when he says, that the kids were immunocompromised, or had immune issues or whatever. I mean, that's a serious thing, right? That's immunocompromised. That's something IWK should be checking out, and you get to the bottom of that, but he just used it so loosely, like, um, so I kind of thought, like, That's one thing where people could be saying, "Oh my god, he's lying. The kids are not immunocompromised." But I think for him, it's just a not total understanding of what, a child having a poor immune system is, because those are very sick children and there's a reason why. So, whereas other children, you're just getting sick all the time because that's what kids do. That's how it goes. Uh, but then there's other stuff he says, and you're just like, oh, Daniel, come on, get off the pot, will ya? Get real. uh, yeah, Park's right beside her. I know, right? I know. There was a couple of things there, yeah. And so, I mean, I was picking up on that a long time anyways. There was things we all picked up on a long time ago with Daniel that you're kind of like, buddy, that's not what you do when you're a man. And that was one of them, right? Because he knows he's not supposed to be calling her. He's not supposed to be near her and doing anything like that. And he's really trying, he pushes that line a little bit. Now he, of course, is saying it wasn't intentional. I don't believe that, honestly. I don't believe that. Christine, it's relaxed for the most part and interactive, Charmaine. Yes, isn't it? Yeah, I like her. I like her little group she got going on there. Hi everyone. Sorry I'm late. Don't you worry about it. No big deal. Just popping in before you go to work. Can't believe it's 5 months. I know. Yeah, 5 months. And Jack's birthday's this month, right? October 29th. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel in the near future the RCMP will be able to rule out a few things that could have happened. I hope so too. I hope with this, the forensics that they're waiting for, Charmaine and Ken, I don't know. Ken, yeah, you were here when I read the news. Charmaine, I don't know if you know, there's just a very small article from CTV News that came out earlier. They're going to come out with a update of the dog searches next week. RCMP told CTV News. That's about all that was really in that. And then, I don't know, CTV News made a comment like initially the investigators believed the polygraphs, and I was like, well, why are they saying the word initial or their initial impressions of the polygraphs? I'm thinking, well, why are they saying initial impressions? That's kind of a strange way of wording that, right? But that'd be CTV News wording it that way. Now, why they're wording it that way, I don't know. Yeah. They don't send out paper. They don't send out paper to renew now. For your, are we still talking about our health cards? I got a paper. That's what I had, and I had to fill it out and send it back. That's what you're talking about. Okay, we'll get another out. They don't send out paper to renew here now. I am lurking because I have zero chill today. I am still livid from the interview that aired yesterday. Can't even put it into words, Lindsay. Yeah, so I find some of that disheartening. There was one I had to tap out of. I just found it too disheartening, and I couldn't listen to it. Yeah, but I hear you. I hear you for sure. Is Wade now living in the horse trailer? Randy, I said the same thing when that first happened. I said the same thing because somebody said, "Did they ever sell the horse trailer?" And I said, "No, she kept it and put weight in it." That was funny. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Charmaine. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and I have to be honest, I didn't watch the whole thing either because I was just kinda like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." It's the same, regurgitated, tweaked a little here and there, and I was just kinda like, "No, I'm done." But I did hear the part about the cards. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Prepare yourself. Yeah, the audacity keeps leveling up. Lindsay, I so desperately wanted to chat with like-minded people afterwards. I was so angry. I ended up just looking at my phone and picking the comments that I thought would be deleted. Made it a game of it, did you? Excuse me. Yeah. Yours end will be out the window, Charmaine. Have 3 smokes beforehand. Yeah. Charmaine says, "Thank you, Novah." Oh, I must be way, 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 way behind. If Daniel is giving crumbs of info online and not to the police, well, I'm hoping that if he's saying he knows who took the kids or who has, that he's got to be telling the police the full version of that. You can't that's a tip. That's called a tip. Um, yeah. So I mean, he would, I mean, hopefully. Yeah, so online and not to the police, that is obstruction, right? An obstruction charge. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. The only thing that makes me happy about Daniel's interview is Lily and Jack's name is, I agree, I thought the same thing, is still being put out there. Definitely some major bull flying around, though. Yeah, definitely. Seawood, hi. Thanks for being here. You are doing amazing. Charmaine, she sure is. Betty, hi. Thanks for being here. Uh, Daniel thinks he is the star on that show. Yeah, you kind of get that feeling, don't you? I'm sure DM has passed info along to RCMP, and I believe they are running all avenues, not just one thing at a time. I would hope so, Scotia. Definitely. I'm sure he's passed it on to. Um, yeah, I mean, it would be foolish to be on here saying that, right? That, you know, he believes he knows who took them or knows or whatever the case may be of what he's saying, and to not pass that on would be foolish. Yeah. Hello, Sailor Moon. Hi, Nova. Hi, Charmaine. Just tuning in. I'll be replaying after this. Yep. Yep. Thanks for popping in. Nice to see you. Yeah. Did anyone get the vibe that DTE, he is questioning some things now? At times I do kind of get that vibe. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Just by his next response or next question or the mhm. Yes. Yeah, the odd time. Yeah. I think my comment was put up twice. Sorry. Daniel was very self-assured in his interview. Yes, definitely. I think Daniel may be street smart and socially well, not so smart, let's say. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Uh, it's just hard to believe that individual that was raised out in the country like that, way out there, would more so be street smart. You know what I mean? But it happens. I'm not saying it ain't so, but yeah, like where did the good old country boy charm go, right? Scotially, I think he is just trying to keep him talking. I hope so. Talk, 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 talk. Yeah. Hi, Vesica. 116 to 117 was odd. I don't know what that means. Mhm. Did I type that loud? Out loud. Yeah. That's it. I'm taking a lunch break and joining y'all. Drippy! Haven't seen you in a long time. I hope you're doing well. Look, everybody's happy to see Drippy. Drippy Bo Bippy. Donna, I think Daniel's covering up for Malaya. He knows Malaya's not telling the truth, but he doesn't know what exactly she did. Interesting thought. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, who knows? Who knows? We don't know. We don't. That's the thing. We don't, right? Yeah. I don't think you will get blocked here, Charmaine. No. So I popped on to you. I popped on you know whose channel to correct some inaccuracies, which quickly got me put in a timeout. Oh, so I'm going to do it here. Yeah, yeah. You'd have to be really, really unbehaved to get blocked here. And I respect anybody's opinions. I do expect everybody to be respectful, though, no matter who it is that comes in the chat room. Like I said, if Daniel or Janie come in here, I would expect people to be respectful, right? Speculating is one thing, but harassing and being nasty to people like that is another thing, and I don't like that. And I know Charmaine's much the same. Yeah. But asking questions and speculating your series and thoughts is just fine. Anytime you can keep someone possibly involved talking is a good thing, I agree. Even if you don't like what they are saying, yeah, things slip out, leakage for sure. Most guilty people will stop talking. It keeps the story alive. I agree. Donna, I feel that it's the other way around, in my opinion, if foul play. Yeah. Yeah, and there's some different thoughts for sure, right? One thing that struck me, and this is so ironic, and I even took it and I played it slow and then slower because I wanted to see what I was hearing. And it's just one of those things that you hear and your brain is telling you that doesn't sound right. There's something wrong with what's being said there. And when I get that in my gut, my head, well, it's your brain putting it into your gut. And that's why they called it the gut feeling. I stop, and I've learned that as a nurse. That's just something you learn in your training because it helps you to not make errors, and it truly does. So Daniel was talking about the pink blanket in the hole in the bag, and he said when I he either said when I or and I, and then he stopped and corrected it and then said something else. And then after that, he said something else that he said I again. And so when I had time to sit down and kind of analyze it, I went over it and over it, and I'm like, it almost sounds like he was going to say, and almost like he was, and this is total not even speculation, just kinda a question, when you question it yourself and you go, "Is he gonna say?" 'Cause I almost thought he was gonna say when I made a hole in the bag. And, um and anyways, so then I was listening to Mike Demand, and oh my gosh, didn't he clue into the same thing? And I was like, "Oh my god, he's saying it too." So it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me that heard that and went, "What?" And I replayed it, like, a couple of days ago and slow, 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 and then I was listening to Mike last night, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's saying the same thing." I even said to, Ginger, "I'm working on something on this blanket here because I was like, There's something wrong with that statement there." And then there's something else there too that still I find odd that I'm still looking into with that blanket, but I know everybody's probably tired of hearing about the blanket, but, I guess it means so much, right? Yeah. Hello, Polar Vortex. Thanks for being here. 5 months. Yeah, and Jack's birthday's this month on the 29th. Yeah. Yeah. Mainstream is too censored for my liking. Yeah, I get it, but don't like it. Yeah. Yeah, they there's rules they have to follow, right? Unfortunately. Uh, yeah. It's kinda like being registered and licensed and not. Yeah. When you're not, you don't have any rules to follow. My point is DM was most definitely insinuating by pointing to court docs that he never physically punished the kids, but Darewood stuck by his whole spanking is not abuse narrative in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. Um So were you guys all in the yeah, I knew what you meant. I said docs. Were you guys all in this chat last night? Because I wasn't. I didn't watch it live. I was watching who was I watching then? Was it I can't remember who I was watching, but I didn't watch that live because I knew I'd just want to skip through it to certain parts and yeah. If there's anybody I missed saying hi to, I apologize. Oh, somebody became a member. Uh, Mama G, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Big smiles on my face. Thank you so much. Oh, wrong one. I played the 2-minute break one there accidentally at first. It's got the water running. Uh You guys, I think that's great that because honestly, it's good to do that because in cases like this, it really like feelings it's 2 missing children, right? And feelings can become overwhelming and it's good to just air it out and have a conversation here about it, right? Let her all out. Finding solace, DT is useless is okay, let me try that again. I swear I didn't do that on purpose. Finding solace, but DT is, unless he changed recently, his belief that the children are still in the woods wandered away. Yeah, he believes that. Yeah. They have told the police, so have many other people. Yeah. Yeah. Now, guys, I'm going to skip way down to the bottom because you guys are having great conversations with each other there. And, well, I'll tell you, if he hasn't been giving the crumbs to the police, they have them now. They have people dedicated to watching social media. Yep. no matter what they say. Yeah, and they have people that still put in tips too, right? I think he's just given us crumbs. I hope he's given them a whole slice of toast, you know, because he's telling us just, he's saying on uh the creators' channels, that he believes he knows who took the children. Well, he should be telling the police a lot more than that, right? He's not telling us who, but he should be telling the police that, hopefully. Yeah. And if people would be reporting that to the police, or they're going to see it on here themselves. Yeah. I was even wondering if that was DT's game, because otherwise I'm baffled, yeah, by the squashing and other narratives. Yeah, of others' narratives. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, I hear ya. My take is that he has loyal followers covering the Nova Scotia case. These followers don't question him, and he doesn't want them thinking he's wrong. Oh. All right. I'm going to skip down to the bottom, guys. If anybody... Woo, you guys are way down there. Wazzas. That's good, though. You guys are having a great chat. Nothing wrong with that. I will watch on the replay tomorrow. Sorry, I'm just joining now. Oh, gosh, don't worry, Root Strength. Thanks for being here. And anybody else that come in, Grendel, thank you for being here. Missy, you must be here. Missy, hi. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for being here. So if some of you guys weren't here earlier, there is a new, as I was coming on, a new article that came out from CTV News. There's a couple of interesting things they said there, that next week our CMP will be giving an update as to what the outcome of the cadaver dogs were or is. And I'm going to read that statement again. Court documents. Court documents released in August show the initial impressions. I think it's because they're putting an S on that, so it's freaking me up. Court documents released in late August show the initial impression by police of the polygraphs given to the parents of Lily and Jack suggest investigators did not think the children's disappearances involved foul play. But it says initial impression. So we were kind of like, huh? Why are they wording it that way? Yeah, and then the other thing is next week is the update. That they hi Wanad. Thanks for being here. The neighbor may have done something as well. Anything is possible. I was upset about how tight the chat was monitored last night on DT. If you question or comment anything other than their narrative, it was deleted and or you were blocked. Yeah. That's not good. That's not good. I mean, I as long as everyone is respectful. Hi Lori. I don't think I said hi yet. Hello Novah, following you from Pictou County. Oh, nice. Well, thank you for being here. Anita, hi. Thanks for being here, Anita Bonita. Yeah. Just make sure I didn't miss anybody. I'm just going back. Yeah, I mean, as long as people are being respectful, people are allowed to have their thoughts. I watched many get timed out and their comments removed. Not a big fan of that channel. To be honest with you, yeah. Huh. I've never been in the chat, and yeah, like, I'm not subscribed or anything, but yeah, I agree, Donna. I agree, but I respect their right to remain, away from the media and YouTube and social media and stuff like that. I respect that. Yeah, I only subscribed to Pop On for that very reason. I got put in timeout 5 times just for pointing out facts. It was ridiculous. Yeah. So while you guys are chit-chatting, I'm going to bring up the original. It was the original, the first. It's from May 2nd when Lilly and Jack Sullivan first went missing. You see it there? Yeah, so missing children. Help the RCMP find Lilly Sullivan and Jack Sullivan. May 2nd, 2025. Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. Sad. Guys, before I go any further, I want to make a correction too. The last video I did, I had talked about Kevin Martin, who went missing from here in Pictou County at the age of 13, and then they found him 6 years later, unalived in a shallow grave. And I said Burnside, and I thought it was the Burnside in Dartmouth because I didn't realize there was more than one Burnside in our little province of Nova Scotia. But there is. And in fact, it's out by Lansdowne, if you can believe that or not. If it's off the 289, further down from Lansdowne. And it has a beautiful waterfall as well. Anyways, that is where Kevin Martin was found. And somebody alerted me in the comments. So thank you very much for doing that, because it's important to have the information correct. And of course, as creators, we don't mind being corrected because we want the information out there to be correct. So that makes more sense somewhat, because I had been saying I don't understand like how these, if a group of kids did this, which is what the mother suspects, how would this group of kids be able to take this child to another place 2.5 hours away at that time? Anyways, so this is not that far away. It's not as far. It's still a little bit far though. But anyways, I wanted to make that correction, okay? And we're going to really talk a lot more about that when we get into his case and do a deep dive, because we're going to do a really good deep dive on his case. It deserves it. Anyways, back to Lilly and Jack. Yeah, so update. The search for missing children, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, is ongoing in Pictou County. Now remember this is May 2nd, okay? Just 1 second, guys. There we go. I had to sneeze. The search for missing children, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, is ongoing in Pictou County. Since just after 10 a.m. this morning, on May 2nd, a search has been underway for 2 small children who are believed to have wandered from a home on Garlock Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County. There is a multi-agency response currently on the ground in Pictou County. It includes resources from ground search and rescue teams from around the province who are collaborating to ensure resources and teams are available on an ongoing basis. Other resources and teams include the Civil Air Search and Rescue Association, Department of Natural Resources Air Services, and several RCMP units, including RCMP Police Dog Services, RCMP Remotely Piloted Aircraft Systems, and then it has in brackets drones, operators, and others. Excuse me. Additionally, the RCMP issued a vulnerable missing persons alert for Pictou County. Police and others involved in the search appreciate the ongoing community support across the province related to this missing person investigation. We ask, however, that the public avoid the search area to allow trained searchers to do their work. The children's family, has been kept updated on the search efforts. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Lilly and Jack Sullivan is asked to contact Pictou County District RCMP at 902-485-4333. To remain anonymous, call Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers toll-free at 1-800-222-TIPS, which is 8477. Submit a secure web tip at www.crimestoppers.ns.ca or use the P3 Tips app. Pictou County District RCMP is asking for the public's assistance in locating 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. They were last seen, excuse me, I guess they're just repeating that. Lilly Sullivan has shoulder-length light brown hair with bangs. She might be wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, pink boots. Jack Sullivan. Now, this is where, before the closed description of Jack and Lilly actually started kind of changing and stuff. So Jack Sullivan has short blondish hair. He's wearing blue dinosaur boots. No other clothing description is available. Yeah, but it did say a pull-up too. We are asking that people spread the word through social media respectfully. Yep. So, yeah, so that was the very first bit of information that was put out by the RCMP. Yeah. And so then it went from that with the clothing to, it was updated to Jack having light brown pants and a brown t-shirt on. And then it went from that. Now, here's my thoughts on the bags of clothes that Malaya has of the kids. Because here's the funny thing. When it was finally updated, and this is where it stayed, because it went from the pull-up to the brown pants and a brown t-shirt. And then it went to, and this was where it stayed, the black armor pants. And I always thought, where did they come up with that? I think I even probably said it on my live. Why is it all of a sudden now black armor pants? And I thought, somebody must have went through the clothes to figure that out. But then we were always told that all the clothes were left at Daniel's. So I didn't understand that. Because at first it was, that Daniel and Logan had went through the clothes, and that's where the brown pants and the brown t-shirt came from. But then it changed to the black jogging pants, and I was like, well, where did that all of a sudden come from? Because Malaya doesn't have the clothes, which you would think the mother would be the one to go through the clothes and know what's missing of your child. You're the one doing the laundry, right? But then when Kent had said here on the live there the other day that about the 6 bags of clothes and that she actually did have them. And I was like, okay, well, that makes more sense to me now. That's where they come up with the black jogging pants because she would have went through those bags of clothes to confirm that, yep, it's his black jogging pants that are missing. Anyways, total speculation on my part, but to me it's just things that make sense, right? Because especially when I already have that question in my head, like, well, who come up with these black pants? Like, it would be the mom who would know what's missing, and she doesn't even have the clothes, so who come up with this? And then to find out, no, she actually did have the clothes, then it's kind of like, oh, okay. Makes sense. Yeah, so that was the initial, and then let's go over to, oh shoot, I think I just closed the wrong one out. I did too, dang it all. I hope I didn't close out the one I didn't want to close out. Because it was the one that said about his clothes. Jack's clothes, and it said the black pants. There's the... That's a really good picture of the... Oh, you guys can't even see it. Really good picture of the backpack and the boots. Yeah, see, the tread on those boots are not that big. And that's why when I look at that picture of that what's representing the prints that were found, the prints to the left is why I think they might be Lily's, because you got to picture that tread with a little tiny girl in it and hardly any weight on the ground. It's not going to make a bigger, like a thicker, heavier print like the one in the middle. And that's why I'm wondering if the one in the middle is an adult holding the hands of 2 small children on each side. Now that's if that's correct. We don't even know if that's 100%, but apparently it's supposed to be a representation of what was seen where the prints were. So just a thought. Hi, Diesel. Thanks for being here. I wonder if I missed anybody else. Wendy? I don't think I said hi to you yet. Thank you for being here. And I think I said hi to you, Rena, but if I didn't, hello. Yeah. So I want it to go to the one where it said, it might be this one where it says that Jack has the black pants on. Because like I said, it went from just having the diaper, the pull-up, to the brown pants, brown t-shirt, to the black armor pants, which is what it stayed as. And it was RCMP that updated that. Jack is described as being 3 feet, 6 and 40 pounds, and was wearing a pull-up diaper, black Under Armour jogging pants. So, and that's where it stayed. So I'm gonna assume that Malaya went through those bags of clothes, and then that's where that came from. That, oh, okay, Jack's black jogging pants are missing. Yeah. Yeah. Grateful for places to share in the sadness while things are in limbo. I agree, and just get things off your chest and any frustrations and As long as you guys are all being respectful with each other there, I don't care what you say, just be respectful. If there's anything I see that I think, like, I wouldn't want another channel to see, I won't put it up on screen, but I don't mind you guys discussing it. Uh Prince could have been, uh yes, deposited any time, yeah. Yep, absolutely. Yep. It's total speculation, right, whether they were theirs or not, I agree. But, uh, it's the footprints that gets me though, Charmaine, because why? I mean, I know Jack didn't like keeping the boots on and that, so he could have done that anytime as well, but you wouldn't think that anybody would let a child be walking too far without the boots on. But, yeah, I agree, could have been any time. Yep, definitely. I wanna know why anyone would bring their kids on such a search. Yeah, uh, you don't know what you were going to run across. I know, right? Very bizarre. Why would it be hard to know what Jack was wearing? Didn't they sleep in their clothes on Thursday night? Why would Malaya need the kids' clothes if she doesn't have the kids? I kind of wondered if uh they may have thrown some clothes on themselves. Like, they may have undressed, and because apparently Lily's Barbie, that outfit was there the trailer, like that Barbie shirt. Um, so, she may have changed her shirt. He may have put some pants on, or changed his pants. Jogging pants are easy for kids to get on, right? Um, and I mean, that's not too hard to believe at the age of 4 and 6. My kids did their own stuff at that age. Like, oh my gosh, good luck trying to pick their clothes out, because in their mind, they're adults and they want to pick out their own clothes, right? They're they think they're. Well, I had 2 boys. They think they're big boys, right? Yeah. But that's the only thought I had in my head with that, is that they possibly did that themselves, right? Why wouldn't they know what they wore if they were put to bed in the same clothes as they had on Thursday? Weren't they seen on CCTV? Yeah, but like I said, but kids will take their clothes off and put other clothes on, and so you'd want to try to be 100% sure, which is why I'm assuming she probably went through those clothes right in the bags of laundry to really get it down as best possible. No, not the way I've seen them work it. Oh, in late, in late, sat in the bushes for the shit show last. Oh, hello, nurse, uh, Nurse Chansey. Uh, Thank God Charmaine allows freedom of thought on her channel. Hashtag justice for Jack and Lily. Well, what about me, nurse? I do too. You're in my chat. Just saying. And yes, Charmaine does. Yes. Yeah. Just want to say Belinda, Chelsea, and anyone who loved a new Lily and Jack hugs today must be heard. 100%. 100%, Mary. Yeah, must be very difficult. Mhm. Yeah, and like I said, that this is Jack's birthday this month, October 29th, right? Yeah. Could the bare footprints be from someone planting other prints? So weird that anyone would be barefoot. Yeah, just a thought. Yeah. Um that that's the thing. It'd be nice to know the size, right? Is that an adult barefoot or child barefoot? The one in the middle, is that adult or child? Or the one on the left? Like what size are these prints, right? Footprints and uh boot prints. That's what Ken and I were saying. Like it'd be interesting to know the size. So many pieces of missing pieces of the puzzle. So darn sad. I see Lily and Jack's sweet faces all over or all day long in my mind. Praying for answers very soon. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very true. Belinda and I agree. Wendy DT did a brilliant job and the channel was kept reasonable, respectful. I wasn't there, so I don't know. RCMP stated Lily's boot size was 11, but in another document, Malaya states that she wore 13 and Jack size 10. Yeah. So I think the boot size was in maybe American, because or maybe UK or China, I don't know. But it had 29 on it. But it must have fit Lily, right? So she probably put it on and pinched the toe. That's what I always did with my kids, check to see where the toe is. And so on the back side, it would have said 29. So maybe she was just trying to estimate that could have been a 13, around a 13. Possibly. But yeah, it ended up that the 29 actually would be in Canada standards a size 11, right? Yeah, and that she thought Jack was a 10. Yeah. Then I thought about what would I do if I couldn't find a sitter and one of my community's kids went missing. Yeah. Yeah. Well, my kids are adults now, but I mean, of course, adults go missing too, right? But I think my grandson, and hope, my gosh, hope nothing ever happens to him. I honestly don't know what M's deal is. Anytime I gave her the benefit of doubt, she obliterated it when she opened her mouth. Yeah. 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 But if the kids changed clothes, where is the pull-up jacket on for bed? Well, he might have still had it on. Like he probably didn't change that. uh, yeah. Just thinking of my kids when they were little, like they would wait for me to, wash them and change the pull-up and whatever, right? You want to make sure they get washed in the morning, especially if they're in a pull-up. But clothes, yeah. Uh, kids can change their clothes. Yeah. Bipolar, take care. Thanks for being here. Uh, their room must have been in some state if they changed themselves and two adults couldn't figure it out. Yeah, well, yeah, because there was a bunch of clothes in the bags And, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious by the pictures that it's not the most organized household, right? Yeah. Like, I remember one time there was something I couldn't find of the kids when they were small. Now, I was ridiculously clean. Like, it was terrible. Like, I mean, I still am, but I was probably on the verge of OCD. It was bad. And one time I couldn't find something of my son's, and I knew that, he must have left it at school because it didn't, it never came back with him and it wasn't in the house. And my house was spotless. There was never anything on the floor, under the beds, or everything was neat and tidy. And I remember going to the school and saying, you know, I can't find this. And I'm pretty sure he didn't come home with it and it's not at the house. So it's got to be here. And the teacher was kind of snotty about it, and she's like, "Well, maybe it's on the floor in his bedroom or under his bed or something." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? I don't know what your house looks like." But I mean, she was being intentionally insulting that, my house must just be a a dump with everything everywhere, and I'm like, no, that's not what my house looks like." uh But, I just couldn't, and especially when you have kids, you gotta have things organized, and there's being too overly, though. I had to learn to be a little more lenient because it's not easy on kids when you don't allow them to make a mess too, so I had to let them be messy and accept that. But, you gotta be organized too. Yeah. Also, if there was substance abuse, addicts can't remember such details. Exactly, and there's a lot of the memory thing, right? Especially with Wednesday. Wednesdays really seems to be off with them. Yeah. Well, Cheryl is just Malaya's mouthpiece, or Malaya messaging from Cheryl's phone. uh I can't hear anything all of a sudden. Is it just me? Uh, yes, just you. Ah, thank you, Grendel. Sound check, sound check, sound check. Yeah. All right. What else do I have here? Uh, no one put eyes on those lovely children that morning. So how do they know what they were wearing? Yep. Like that, the rug thing, the disorganization, the like, what a crap show, right? And now here your children are missing, and you should be like, I knew what my kids had on when they went to bed. Even if they picked out their own jammies, they had to come out and stand in front of me, show me what they picked out and what they have on, and that they didn't have their shirt on their bottom and their bottom on over their head. Like, you knew what they had on, you know? And it's just a sin. It's sad. Like, gosh, all of, a combination of everything. Like, n yeah, to not yeah, to Hi, Cheryl, thanks for being here. I hope you don't mind me using your, pictures, in the thumbnail. I thought they looked nice for the 5 month today. Lily and Jack have been missing. Hi, Betty. I can't remember if I said hi yet because of my memory, but hi. Mhm. Yeah, it seems Jack and Lily fended for themselves. I know, right? So sad. Yeah, trying to be nice. Yeah. Hi, Jess. Oh, they didn't remember Wednesday on purpose. Oh, you figure, eh? That I mean, there's definitely seems like something what is going on with the whole Wednesday thing, right? I have OCD, so I knew where just about everything was. Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, my 2 boys. Yeah. Yeah, I had 2 boys as well. Um Yeah, oh, yeah, I was, like, so organized. I can remember the look because I distinctly remember that puzzled look I got on my face when she said it, like, you know, she probably thought, "Oh, what did I just say?" Because I probably had that look on my face like, "Girl, you looking for a slap in the face? What do you mean? There is nothing under that child's bed. Not even a little fluffy." Yeah, like, "How dare you?" Timeline for Thursday is virtually non-existent after the return from town. Yeah. Yeah, and my question for that, because they say they stopped at we stopped at Acropole, right? Because it's supper time, but they don't say, and Lily and Jack had a poutine or the kids had I mean, the slices of pizza are big, so you could split that in half and the kids could eat that. Nothing like that. So it just gives me that feeling that why do I feel like it was just food for the adults? Like, I just get that feeling, right? Like, because there was, we stopped at like, I'd be given the details. We stopped at Agripole. Jack and Lily split a piece of pizza. They love Sam's recipe. And so they had pizza. I had a poutine. There's none of that. Like, it's bizarre. And the same as I think I bought them a bagel and Tim Hortons, I think. Like, what? I would know more about what my kids ate than I ate. Like, because that's first. It's just upsetting. Yeah, kids lose so many things. I know I was like a detective sometimes figuring out where their stuff was. That struggle was real for me. Yeah. Yeah. Not me. I knew where everything was. And I knew if something was lost. I knew if something was missing. But we didn't have a lot either, I have to be honest, because we went through some hard times back then. Um and yeah. So yeah. So when you don't have a whole heck of a lot, you really know what you have and where it is. Daniel remembers everything he's told the RCMP everything they've done. Daniel remembers everything he's told the RCMP everything they've done. Okay. The bromance. Yeah, I thought it was done over. I thought it was done too. Yeah. Uh, Daniel must have took Darwood to the waterfalls and for a walk on the beach, and they got back together. I guess something like that, maybe. Oh, agree, Anita. Since first interviews, they were best friends. Now he claims they were violent with each other. Mhm. Can't 29 would just be the production number. Yeah, and it didn't say the size on it, I don't think. Or maybe it did, but Because I know when I bought the kids' boots, it didn't always have their size. You have to try them on and pinch the toe. It would have this other crazy number that we didn't even go by here in Canada. And it would have, the circle around it. I think it is disgraceful for Danny to speak on Lily and Jack the way he did. Parents of missing children never speak ill of them. 100% agree. 100%. No, you don't. You're too engulfed in thinking of what you now miss that you wish you could hear again, right? Yeah. No, you don't speak ill. Totally agree. Hi, Tammy. Welcome to the chat. Don't think I said hi yet. Charmaine must have left. Sorry, I didn't say goodbye, Charmaine. Okay, so the garbage bags. I feel like they, out of the blanket pieces, is one garbage bag, and then put garbage in another and put it there so the blanket wouldn't get dirty for whoever took it out. The thing that I don't get about the blanket, and this is what I'm looking at different stuff now, trying to remember certain things. I could have swore that my understanding, I read it somewhere, or I can't remember if it's in the documents. That's the last place I have left to go through. But I'm not the only one, because I asked in the chat the other day without prompting to see if other people remembered the same thing I remember. I said, does anyone remember who stated that that blanket was torn? Where did that come from? And the answer that was given, that I wanted to make sure that I remembered the same thing. Malaya said it. And I was like, right. It was already torn. But the way Daniel's talking about it, it sounds like he's saying it was torn when it was taken out of the bag. And I was like, well, no, it was already torn. And Cheryl said she was told that it was on the back doorstep. So there's something. Yeah. Like, it's like one side is saying, no, that blanket was already torn. Daniel tore a piece off it prior to it even being put in the garbage bag. Like when it was up on or when it was against the door or on the door, however it was used, there was a piece torn then. And that torn piece wasn't even in the garbage bag. Or were they both put in there together at the same time? Like I'm not totally understanding that whole part of it, because to me it's like one side is saying it was already torn and Daniel's saying it was torn when it was taken out of the garbage. I just have questions about that. Hi, Celia. Thanks for coming into the chat. Thanks for being here. A lot of new information is coming out. A lot of eyes on working out what happened to Lily and Jack. Yeah. So next week, we were reading from CBC News, a little thing they had put in the put out today. CTV News. Sorry, not CBC. That next week they're going to give us an update of the cadaver dogs. Yeah, what took place with the cadaver dogs. So that'll be coming. Yeah. In my opinion, police do not issue a no contact order for no reason. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and then playing any kind of games with that. Now, I don't know if he has a no contact order, but if he does, I don't remember hearing that. But if he does, then playing games like that, parking by her or, walking over and putting something in the trunk, you don't do any of that. Like that, come on now. Come on. Like, you don't do that. Uh, yeah. Nova, I was so organized and clean clean. My kid's now 36, twins, 40 years old, say the house was calm, to come home to. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know my kids enjoyed when they come home and the house was nice and clean and always smelt nice, and I always had a nice supper on the table for them, always. Like, even if I had to work, I made supper for them before I left so that they still had a nice supper for the evening after school, and they did their homework and whatnot. There was always a nice homemade supper there. You guys are having great conversation. Yeah. Daniel even referred to himself in the RCMP as we. I truly believe he thinks they are buddies and they have his back. Yeah. And they it's their job to make you feel like that, right? I mean, there's 2 kids missing, right? So, whatever they need to do, and in the end, he may have had nothing to do with it, and it's not gonna be any skin off their nose either way to have let on they were his buddy, because they're either gonna catch somebody who did something nefarious, or he has nothing to do with anything, and they made a friend, or got to know somebody in a terrible situation, right? And offered support to him. So, yeah. This business of Lily pulling her own hair out, I call BS on that. Well, that's a very, as soon as I heard that, I thought, I would really like to know what Belinda would have to say about that. Because did Belinda ever witness any of that behavior? And if she didn't, then that begs the question, because you don't turn autistic. Um, you know, which I don't believe that anyways. The whole autistic thing, the same as the low immune system. You just can't loosely use those terms to fit whatever narrative you're trying to push, right? Like their behavior, it's autistic, they're sick all the time, they have a low immunity. Like, you just don't do that. That's those, it's like calling people psycho when they're not psycho. You're using those terms loosely. Um, but yeah, I bet the farm, her hair was pulled out by an abuser. Um, but it'd be interesting to know what Belinda knows of that, because she was in Lily's life up until about 4.5 years old. It was like 18 months, I think, she hadn't seen them before they went missing. Um, so did she ever witness that? Because by looking at all those pictures and what Lily looked like, I mean, I can't imagine. she was able to pose at any moment for a picture, right? Like little girls do. Um, and, uh, so if that's something that took place afterwards, what's causing that behavior? That's a behavior of not a child having ADHD in that case. Belinda says, "No, gosh, I've never seen her do that ever." She liked getting her hair done, and she was prissy, and is how she was described. Well, what later causes that to happen, right? I'm sure we can guess at a few things that could cause that. Yeah. So good question. Thank you for saying that, because I thought that as well. And I really want to know what Belinda has to say about that. She might be on Sunny's when Sunny's on later. Yeah. Yeah, I worked with a girl who had it too. And for anybody that doesn't know what the trichotillomania that is when some people will just pull one out at a time. Pull your hair out. Yeah. Yeah. But with stress, it does get worse. The girl at work that had it, like, she would sit there and, yeah, you would just see her just pulling at one hair at a time until she would just like kind of pull it between her fingers, and then eventually it would just go pop and come off, and then she'd move on to the next one. Like, oof. Some people are not always respectful to this family, and I often feel disturbed by the hate and cyber bullying. It's ugly, and some forget that this is a grieving family. Yeah, Terry, Wendy, I hear you. I hear you. Uh, and I agree that people can be too nasty. However, I I think it is also okay for people to express how they feel as well. I mean, we are talking about two small children who went missing. Definitely by means of neglect. That's 100%. Now, whether it's by means of any other thing else, we don't know. And, hopefully not. But I mean, something happened. Something happened, because it doesn't seem like they're out in the woods. So something happened. And things like this, we don't want things like this to continue to happen and keep happening. So people have the right to speak out. And only when you speak out and share your thoughts is change made. To how things are investigated, possibly by immediately treating an area like a crime scene when it involves children, or what took place with the whole CPS thing. Is there something there that has to change? I think we can say, it's safe to say, something does have to change there, because it's happening over and over and over again, right, with these cases. So people have a right to ask questions, and um, and to be honest, I was totally about not coming out of the gate and or attacking the family members, and when people were kind of picking apart what their property looked like I found that offensive, and I was kind of upset about that, because that doesn't make anybody a bad person or that they did something bad to their children. But then as time went on and heard the things that they themselves, Daniel and Janie, did, and I followed this from day one. It was them. It was the things that they said that made me go, "What? What is going on here?" Um, and I still do. I still don't understand some of the things that they've said. Um, I actually couldn't even listen to the Janie tapes because the way that she was talking about Lily and Jack was so offensive. It was triggering me severely, like, even just right now thinking about it, and, like, I try to stay away from it because it's so triggering, and that's what upsets me because those are 2 missing children. Um, and I don't feel anything that I'm saying is being ignorant towards them or being bullying. I think it's being realistic that, I mean, when your body is literally having a visceral effect by the way that you're hearing a woman speak of 2 missing innocent children, that's not me being a bully. That's me being very honest and saying that's not right. Like, and I have to get off the topic because it's actually starting to give me a visceral effect again, and it's so upsetting to me. So we're gonna have to switch the topic. Sorry, Wendy, but that's where I come from, okay? Uh, on that. Novah, rural, isolated, and lifestyle should be addressed and flagged for CPS to be involved and RCMP to be flagged. Yeah. 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 Thank you, Jess. Yeah, I still can't even listen to her tapes because to listen to that, her talking like that about those kids is so triggering because that's not right. And I mean, it doesn't matter, of course, all little kids can get on our nerves at times, right? But when something tragic like that happens to them, you don't talk about them like that. There's something wrong with that. Whether you did anything or you didn't, that's not how you talk about 2 missing children. Because now you're going to miss it. You're going to miss that. You're going to wish that they were right there in front of you again, doing those things, right? But anyways, yeah, I can't even do the Janie thing. I can't listen to those tapes or anything because that's just terrible. Yeah, I agree, Nova. No, I don't leap to judgment about people. The house, well, when you have kids, you need to do better, but exactly, but um uh do better, but also a sign of untreated ADHD. I have compassion, exactly. It is their behavior now. Yeah, and I'm not judgmental in that either. I'm a nurse and I've seen all walks of life. I did community care. I've walked into all walks of life in homes. I don't judge people, right? I know that, and I come from this community. I live in this community where they went missing, and I know that there's people that don't have a lot, and there's people who are hoarders, and there's people who aren't that clean, but they're the sweetest, kindest, most beautiful people. It does, I don't judge people like that. So, and it did really bother me at first when people were doing that. I didn't think that was right? Like, that people did that, but, we're beyond that now, like, anyways. Mm. Yeah, isn't that the truth? They don't have enough CPS investigators to do what they need to do. Yeah, so sad. Yeah, Janie has resentment towards the kids and Malaya. Yeah, she wants Daniel to get back together with his ex-wife, you think? Yeah. Malaya was diagnosed with bipolar disease, if anyone hadn't known this. Well, I kind of suspected that it was possible. That, I mean, her depression. Like, I know Belinda has said that she took medication for depression, and that could quite possibly be bipolar, of course. We don't know, Ginger, how they feel in private times. Malaya was called out of showing a little emotion, but soon after she was taken into an ambulance in a state of stress, her family removed her. Yeah. Oh, Ginger knows all that. Yeah. Yeah, that was on the 3rd too, right? That Malaya broke. And had to go to the ambulance. So, I mean, she did show emotion, for sure. Oh, borderline personality disorder. Sorry, I thought you were saying bipolar. Uh, yeah, yep. I don't know. Uh, I would need more facts to believe that for sure. Uh, Yeah, exactly, drippy by possibly, because we know what Belinda, and I believe Belinda, but, uh, yeah, the borderline personality disorder, I don't know about that one. Um, I grew up poor, work for a time, I was for cut grass at a plaza or dusting my parents, had a cleaning business plus each shop. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Did lots of little stuff to make money. My husband was like that too. And we're both very good with our money. Yeah, so you learn when you go through the being poor, right? The pond, hi. Malaya looked like she felt so helpless in that interview. I know, that's the feeling I got too, the pond. I did too. Yeah, like, very helpless and just didn't know what to think, like, and that she was kinda repeating stuff that was said to her. I always said that, and I don't mean in a narrative way, like, "Okay, guys, this is what we're gonna say." I always said it's just stuff like, Janie saying I just felt like I didn't even know who then, and I remember, I think it was Sunny and I talking about it. And I said, "Well, it seems to me like somebody must have told her they saw the kids outside, but it wasn't her, and that's why she's saying both those things." And then we found out, yeah, that Janie says she had or heard them, sorry, not saw them. She heard them outside. So then we found out that that was accurate, right? Like, just basically like she was repeating what she hear was told from somebody else, right? Um, and that it wasn't actually her who saw them. Mhm, exactly. Exactly, Diesel, right? It could be there's acute depression, there's long-term depression, and there's bipolar, which includes depression. So there's lots of stuff, right? There's Belinda. Hi, Belinda. Um, I hope you're doing well. And hi, Nova, and voices for Lily and Jack. Lots of love to you, Belinda. Lots of love. We're just talking about everything in general, nothing particular today. Just remembering Lily and Jack. Yeah, and discussing a bit of everything. Now, if you don't mind me asking you a question, and again, lots of love to you. We were discussing this being stated, and I don't know if you saw that whole thing last night, but it was on DT, but it was stated from Daniel that Lily would pull, like, scream and yell and pull her hair out of her head. I think that's what was how it was worded. And if somebody else knows exactly how it was worded, put it in the chat. And I said, well, I'm curious as to what Belinda would say about that. Now, maybe that is so. Did you ever see her do anything like that? Because we were kind of calling, like somebody said, I called BS on that. And I said, well, I kind of do too. But maybe she did, right? But if she didn't, she never ever did that with you or around you. Um, you know, first of all, even if it's true, Daniel's saying it, uh, if you never ever seen her doing that and witnessed any kind of behavior like that, then I would say it's either not true, or if it is true, what changed and took place in her life for that to occur, right? Because you don't become autistic, right? I mean, Daniel's trying to say it's due to the kids being autistic, but yeah, yeah. But my son was excitable, my oldest one, when he was little, and especially if there was a birthday, Christmas, Halloween, things like that. Yeah, his feelings, it took a lot more for him to get in control of them, compared to my other son. Actually, my other son used to pass out when he got too excited. He would just pass out. Oh my goodness. But, my other fella, like, he used to get really loud, and anyways, so it was a lot more work with him, right, to get him to calm down. Like, even in church, you would be in church, and he would be just yipping and yapping out loud, and I'd have to, be going, "Oh, oh, inside voice," the whole thing. But anyways, but that and ripping your hair out is 2 different things, right? Uh, yeah, but you didn't see any signs of that, and I doubt it that you ever saw any signs of that. But, and I'm sure Malaya would have mentioned it to you that, "Geez, I don't know what's going on here," but she's, like, screaming and ripping her hair out because usually a mom wants to talk to other people about stuff like that if it's going on, right, to try to understand. Yes, that's right, Grendel, October 29th. Yeah, so I agree that I kind of question if that's correct, but if she was showing behavior like that, well, something causes that. Something causes that. Um, that Lily was very aggressive, which, yeah, temper tantrums and pulling her own hair out. Yeah, and that she was aggressive with Jack. Yeah, but something was going on. If that's true at all, something was going on. I'd like to know if Patty actually saw the kids that day. Daniel is now claiming him, J and L waited in the car while M ran in to switch laundry. So when did the Tonka truck occur? I'd like to know if Patty actually saw the kids that day. Daniel is now claiming that him, Jack, and Lily waited in the car while Malaya ran in to switch the laundry. Oh, is he? I didn't know that. So when did the Tonka truck hit Lily? I didn't know he was saying that. Oh, yeah, temper tantrum. I knew what you meant. Yeah. And I find it hard to believe that Daniel was working on the fence until 10. Well, he said until it got dark, which would be between 7 and 8, because I don't think the clock sprung ahead yet. Then, but yeah, I remember him saying until it got dark is what I remember him saying, which would be between 7 and 8. Yeah, exactly, Belinda. Yeah. 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 Well, if that's true, Grendel, and if it is true, there's reasons why that happens, and it's not autism. In my opinion, M seemed disconnected even prior to the kids going missing. Yeah. Just how she would just ditch the kids to Daniel and leave them all behind when they went in stores while she held the baby. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, something's definitely going on. What? I don't know, but I picked up on that stuff too, Drippy. Like I just again where your brain's giving your gut that little bit of a kick and you're going, okay, what's going on here? Right? Like, what is this? Yeah. Daniel also claims that it was Cindy that reported Malaya to CPS to have Meadow removed from her care. Yet both him and Darewood were calling the RCMP. Yeah. So Cindy is the one who reported her. And Belinda says she was told that as well. So he said he came in from working on the fence and Malaya was already sleeping. Okay. Yeah. And she said she went to bed at 10, didn't she? If I remember correctly. Documents state that Daniel and the kids went into Patty's while she went to the bank, and Lily was pushing the Tonka truck around in the kitchen of Patty's house. Documents state that Daniel and the kids went into Patty's while Malaya went to the bank. And Lily was pushing around the Tonka truck. That's what I kind of got too. And she went and got a plate for her car and bought Daniel a e-cig. And he stayed with the kids, right? Yeah. That's right. Cindy's a mandatory reporter. Yep. That Jack was outside till 10 p.m. Daniel. Hmm. Novah, Kent, Belinda. Who is everyone afraid of? Good question. I know I certainly feel like Malay is afraid of somebody. Yeah, e-cigs, eat out, Starbucks. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yet so poor to get Patty's card for groceries, and Dad has to heat house for them. Yeah, not good with money. That is for sure. Very lackadaisy, right? In that department. Really? She said Jack was outside till 10 p.m.? Wow. I don't remember hearing that. That's awful late for a little feller, 4 years old, to be outside. Hmm. Well, it just sounds like issues they themselves created, right? Not they're just not everybody's good at managing their money, honestly. Some people are just not good. Or if one is good, then the other one has to let that one control it, right? Because if you're not, you have to admit to that, right? Or you're going to end up in big trouble. Right? At Novah, there was that comment left on Haley's father's Facebook post of the missing poster that was alarming and seemed like the entire family had someone they feared. Oh, well, that wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. Huh. Hmm. I don't know about that post, but I could see that. Yeah. Yeah, and his own children, yeah, too. Mhm. Yeah. And blended families are tough, right? It that's they say it's one of the harder families, because there's a lot to figure out. Yeah. They were sick that week and had them outside playing in the cold rain. Yeah, I know. Yeah. They should have been inside sipping on some nice hot soup. Yeah. Oh, is that what it said? Post all you want. I'm still coming to collect. What a thing to post on a missing poster. Oh, I didn't know anything about that. But that could be somebody just acting like an idiot too, of course. Yeah. The school and bus driver said they fell asleep. Yeah, I could picture that. Mhm. Yeah, with just such chaos going on, right? And yeah. Yeah. Exactly, drippy. Yeah. But people are like that. Yeah. Or they just it's being manipulative too, right? To spend all your money and not and know, right, that you can get it out of so and so or get more out of so and so for this, that, and the other thing, right? So you go ahead and spend your money on whatever you want, right? And not a good way to be. Yeah. Yeah. I wish the cat or the dog or the chickens. Yeah, I hear you. Or the bear even. 'cause apparently the bear was hanging around. Maybe the bear knows something. Yeah. My family wouldn't have it to give, so Cindy would need to report her because she was under her care. Yes, and she is a healthcare worker. She's a nurse too. Well, guys, we're after 2 hours, and my throat is starting to kill me. So I think I'm gonna have to say goodbye. But, let me put up some pictures here first. First, let me put up the banner. So anyone with information regarding Lily and Jack Sullivan, you can see the numbers down below. Lily and Jack Sullivan went missing on May 2nd, and they went missing from Lansdowne Station, Garlock Road, Pictou County, Nova Scotia. Okay, and too precious. There they are. Lily and Jack Sullivan, missing since May 2nd, 5 months today. Last seen May 1st, 2025. If you have any information, please bring it forward, please. There's a $150,000 reward. Please come forward if you have any information about Lily and Jack Sullivan, please. Whether it be their whereabouts, whether it be about a crime that may have been committed, and you have information or possible information. Sometimes people know something and they don't realize that they know of it. So, if you know anybody in the circle and you think you might, there's something suspicious, but you're not sure, don't hesitate to contact these numbers with a tip, okay? Very important, please, if you have information. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. I'll always touch on this until it's resolved. Um, you know, while we're touching on the other cases as well. Yeah. So like I said, the very first deep dive we're going to do is Kevin Martin, guys, from Pictou County as well, Stellarton, the town I live in, who went missing when he was 13. And then his remains were found 6 years later. And it's a very sad story, not talked about enough, that's for sure. Yeah. And thanks everyone for being here. Lots of love to you all. You're welcome, Belinda. Lots of love to you. Take it easy today. And you know that we're always thinking of Lily and Jack, and we'll always work to keep their names out there, keep their case alive. Yeah, you know that. Don't ever have any fear of that. Yeah. So I'm just going to put their picture up today, guys, and we'll close out with their pictures, with just their pictures. And I'll play the Swaying Silhouette, it's called. And thanks to you all for being here. Lots of love, lots of positive vibes. I'll be watching Sunny later. I probably won't be in the chat though because I'm pretty tired now. But I will listen with my earpiece in. Take care, everyone. Bye. You guys, if you're still chatting, finish up your chats because I'm not going to completely close it out just yet, okay? Yeah.